Hi everyone, Velvet here, and I have some stories for you today. But before we get started, can you please do me a huge favor and like, comment, and subscribe? It'll really help the channel out, and it'll get you more videos like this every day. Let's get started. And our first one comes from Amethyst Umbrella. Am I the beehole for not paying my sister for the labor I made her do at Christmas? My husband, 36, and I, a 38-year-old female, hosted Christmas this year. My 20 living close family members, brothers, sisters, nieces, nephews, have stayed with us from the 18th and will continue to do so until tomorrow. A further 8 people joined us yesterday for Christmas dinner and a Christmas party. My older brother, a 40-year-old male, and his husband, a 53-year-old male, usually help me with the Christmas dinner, and they did this year as well, but there were a few more guests than usual, and we needed some more hands on deck. So I asked my younger sister, a 30-year-old female, to help. She agreed, if reluctantly, once she saw how much was needed to be done, and got to work. She muttered, when she started, that I had better pay her back for this, to which I laughed because I thought it was a joke. There's a very high chance that I misinterpreted this because I do have autism, and recognizing sarcasm is not one of my strong points. But she did not object, so I took my misinterpretation as the correct one. I was and am incredibly grateful for her help and thanked her for it many times. Once the cooking was done and the food was served in our dining room, I made sure to mention the contribution that everyone had put into the meal, my name as I do every year. My sister then, this morning, just before she was about to leave, everything was packed up in her car, says her goodbyes to everyone, asked me how much I was going to pay her. I asked her what she meant, and she said that she agreed to do it with the idea she'd be paid, and she wasn't my slave. I said I wasn't going to pay her because it was a favor. Also, I've done a lot for her during her time here, so if anything, it was her paying me back. She just glared at me and asked again for her money, and I said I don't have anything for her. She didn't ask again and left after telling me I was being pissy with her for no reason. We are normally on good terms, so this was surprising. I don't remember us ever arguing before now, so I think I either did something very wrong or she was in a bad mood because she was hungover and I only did something slightly wrong? So, Reddit, am I the beehole? Edit, people do help in other ways, which is why I went to my sister because she was the only one who wasn't busy. Hi OP, I'm gonna say you're not the beehole. This is from what I gathered, food prep, right? For all the people coming to the party. No, why would she not want to help you? I get in there and help in the kitchen too for Thanksgiving and all that when my parents are, making food when I'm over there. And yeah, I would see this as, paying you back. Well, not even paying you back. I would have just done it because it's, I don't know, just in my mind and be like, oh, they need help. I'm gonna go help. That's just the way I was raised, I guess. And no, I wouldn't expect any money to help you with some food. We didn't agree upon that. And plus, I'm gonna eat too. And she's being very rude. You were nice enough to host everybody, and she can't help you prep some food. I doubt she was doing anything, crazy. Probably the hardest thing. If you're making chicken, maybe you have to, cook the chicken, but that's about it. So yeah, she's being very rude and very. She's the one being pissy, assuming that she was getting paid, and she knows you have autism, so she should have been very clear that she wasn't joking and that she expects you to pay her. And so I would say this is her fault because she knew who she was talking to, and she's just being mean. What, like you said, she was hungover. I guess that probably plays into it, but she was really thinking that the hangover just made her more angry and willing to come after you more about it. So yeah, you're not the beehole. She's the beehole. I don't know where she's coming from expecting money to help you prep for a family holiday get together thing. Who in their right mind thinks that? And our next one comes from KFL890. Am I the beehole for making my kids wait to open their Christmas gifts? The background. I have 3 kids. 2 are in high school and 1 is 12. The 12-year-old got really sick on the 23rd, the eve of Christmas Eve. A 103.8 fever, aches, tummy hurts, he just felt lousy. I put him in bed, and he stayed there all day on the 24th. By that night, he was still very sick. Normally, we'd open our presents on Christmas Eve, but we decided to wait. My 12-year-old is at that age where I don't think he believes, but he wants to. So after I put him to bed, Santa came, and we all crossed our fingers there would be a Christmas miracle and he'd feel better. By Christmas morning, when we normally open Santa's presents, he really tried to get up. He took a shower. He says he's well enough to go down and see what Santa brought, but took one look at the presents, turned right around, and went back upstairs and crawled into bed. I said we'd have to wait to open gifts until he was better, but one of my teens had an attitude about it all day. And tonight, my husband said he felt bad that we made the kids wait to open their gifts. Now I'm second guessing everything. I thought it would be cruel to let the kids open their gifts while their little brother was sick upstairs. But tonight, my husband said we should have let them open their gifts, and he has made me feel like the beehole. I suppose I could have picked out a couple of gifts for them to open. But I have no idea which gifts are which. Santa wraps everything in red paper, and many of the packages look similar, even though they have the kids' names on them. I have no idea which gifts are which, so it's hard to pick out just a couple. I didn't want one kid to open a pair of socks and another to open their big gift. Tonight, my 12-year-old seems to be improving a bit. His fever is now around 102, but he stayed in bed sleeping all day, and I'm really just hoping he's much better by tomorrow. Not only does he feel lousy, he feels like he ruined Christmas, which I keep telling him not to worry about. So basically, I didn't think I was asking too much making the kids wait. It's not like I'll make them wait days and days, but my husband now thinks making them wait was wrong. Maybe it was. Maybe I'm the beehole for making my older kids wait to open their Christmas presents until their little brother felt well enough to join them. So I really want to know, am I the beehole? OP, I'm gonna give you a very slight you're the beehole. Not a hard one, just a slight one. I think honestly you should have just let your kids open the gifts when you normally open gifts, and when the sick one feels better, then he gets to open his gifts. You know what I mean? It's not like he loses the magic of opening gifts. Opening gifts is still fun no matter what. Someone got me a gift in July, I'd still be happy to open it. So yeah, soft am I the beehole, soft you're the beehole. Let him open their presents, and then he could come down when he feels better and open the presents. The family's still there, so you can still gather around him opening his presents. And that does suck that he got sick. I usually get sick on Christmas, but not to the point where I'm bedridden. I used to. It's been a while. I usually get a flu, and then I'm still right there on the couch, sick as a dog, still opening my presents. But as soon as all the presents are open, I go straight back to bed and try to sleep that off. So I get it. It sucks being sick on Christmas or Christmas Eve or the eve of Christmas, like in the story. But yeah, Slight, you're the beehole. Let him open the presents. It's not like he doesn't get to open his presents if they open their presents before him. And our next one comes from Butterscotch Pastry. Am I the beehole for telling my mom I'm staying with my dad full time until I don't have to share my room? I, a 15-year-old female, live 1 week with my dad and another with my mom. They divorced 3 years ago, and my mom has been dating John for a year. John and I don't hate each other, but not close. We all live in the same town as most of my dad's side of the family. So other than my music lesson, I also hang out a lot with my cousins and don't spend a lot of time around John. A month ago, John and his daughter, Trisha, an 11-year-old female, moved in temporarily into my house because there was a fire at theirs. My house has 2 bedrooms, so Trisha has to stay in my room. My bed is a bunk bed because I was getting a sister, but my mom miscarried. Trish and I hung out only a few times before this, but I can say the same thing about her and John. I don't hate her, but she turns out to be hard to live with. She has long hair, and her hair is everywhere. She talks in her sleep, and I was woken up 5 or 6 times since her stay. She also sometimes tries to speak to me when I'm already turned off my lamp, a sign that I was going to sleep. I talked to my mom, and she said I needed to be nicer, since she has been going through a lot, and that my issues were just minor inconveniences, that Trisha would be back at her home soon, in late January. I talked to my dad, and he said I could just move in with him until Trisha leaves. I then packed my bags and told my mom I'll be staying at Dad's. She blew up at me, saying I was a spoiled brat, and that I'm making her and John and Trisha feel horrible for imposing. I just left. It's been a week now, and my mom never reached out to me. She dropped my Christmas presents at my grandma's house, because my dad and I would celebrate Christmas there. I don't think my mom can get the law involved because I'm 15, and I just have to tell them the living situation, and they should understand. Besides, it's only until I can have my room back again. Still, am I the beehole? Hi, OP. I'm gonna say you're not the beehole. I get it. You've had your own room for a long time. You're 15, you're at that age where you want your privacy, and someone else has just kind of dropped in on you, and I get it. Her house was on fire, and that's a hard thing she's dealing with. But I think you handled it well. You weren't mean to her, rude to her. You didn't cuss her out or blow up at her. You went, she's annoying. I have a way out of this for a while, and you went to your dad's. I think that's pretty good. Like, no one's mad, and she gets a whole room. You get a whole room, I assume, at your dad's, and you just have to wait until what was it, January? I think the first, something like that, and then you can move back in with your mom. The person I'm annoyed with is your mom. She's over here calling you a brat and not talking to you, and she drops your presents off at her grandma's house instead of being an adult and talking to her daughter. I think she's really mad at you because, oh, because she looks bad in front of, her, your stepdad. I can't remember if you're married in the story, your stepdad and his daughter. I guess it makes it look like, oh, you don't like them, which you don't, but you don't love them either. But it's really sad she's acting that way towards you because of them. You're her daughter. Like, she should have, listened to you and tried to find a way to solve the problem. And you did solve the problem. You solved it with no conflict or anything like that. And you're not there for too long. I don't know. I think your mom, I don't like the way your mom was acting in that situation because you didn't really do anything wrong. You didn't kick her out of the room. You weren't rude to her. She kept the whole room for a while. So yeah, OP, you're not the beehole. I don't know what's up with your mom though. And our next one comes from Familiar Laugh 8726. Am I the beehole for asking my husband to go sleep at his brother's for the rest of the week because he left me alone on Christmas while I was sick? I've been diagnosed with a rare disease 3 years ago. It's not too disabling on a daily basis, but it requires regular treatments at a hospital, like any other treatment. They come with side effects, in this case, severe migraines. My last hospital appointment was just before Christmas, so I couldn't participate in the meals on the 24th or the 25th. My husband had told me we would spend a quiet time together at home, despite the headache. I made an effort to leave the room and stay with him in the living room. He left 3 hours on the 24th, and again 3 hours on the 25th. In the afternoon, he came back for the meal and spent some time with his family. I understand if he did it once, and I didn't say anything, but twice. I'm a bit disappointed and upset that he left me alone on Christmas while I was sick. So I asked he go sleep at his brother's for the rest of the week, because I need to reflect on his involvement in our relationship. So, am I the beehole? Okay, before I continue with the rest of the story, I'll give my thoughts on this part because it looks like the OP answered back to everyone in the comment section. So yeah, I'm gonna go with you're the beehole, OP. I get it, you're sick, that sucks, you have headaches, but it's not like he was gone the whole day. It's Christmas Eve and it's Christmas. He went to go spend it at his family for 3 hours each day. That's not a lot of time. You can live without him for 3 hours. And this whole you go sleep at your brother's for the week? How old are you? Talk to him like an adult and tell him how you feel. I still think you're in the wrong, but you handled that poorly. Get out of here while while I think about things. No, 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 no. That's not how that works. You don't get to just throw a tantrum like that and kick him out of the house. That's not cool. And like you said, it's the holidays. So in my opinion, yeah, you are the beehole. Not maybe the hardest beehole, but you are one. That's not cool. Give him 3 hours on Christmas Eve and on Christmas Day to go spend some time with his family. And he still came back and you get the whole rest of the day with him. Like, come on, that's just being selfish. But yeah, let's continue the story and see what OP has to say about everyone's comments on Reddit. Okay, wow, thank you, wow. That's called unanimously. Am I the beehole? I thought it'd be a little bit more mixed, so it implies some self-reflection on my part. However, I still wanted to add, in response to some comments, that I would have stayed with him for both days if the roles were reversed. I've done it before. I've canceled family gatherings for him. And another time, a birthday. Perhaps that's what made me so sad and angry, that he didn't do the same for me. My therapist would probably say it's related to my subjugation schemia. And the other days of the year, he does what he wants. I don't care. It's just because of Christmas, but I know I overreacted. Thanks again for your straightforward yet polite comments and advice. Okay, after reading that, it seems like OP got it. So yeah, I already said my piece on that, just, wrapping things up on that story. And our final one comes from Any Bookkeeper 2304. Am I the beehole for telling my daughter-in-law her being poor is not my problem and to stop judging and about the 75 plush presents under the tree? I am wondering if I'm justified or not. Everyone came over for Christmas. I have 14 grandkids, then all of my kids, 5 of them, everyone's spouses, and all the older relatives. The kids get 3 presents each. That's 42 gifts for just the kids. There are 17 adults, and I get them 2 gifts each. So 34 gifts in total. Then I got 9 gifts in total of the pets in the family. Jeez, man. I'm not counting any gifts from my husband and me or any of the gifts I got for all 3 of the relatives. If I did, that would be around 100 under the tree. As you can see, it's a ton of gifts, and I start shopping for everyone basically at the start of New Year's. Also, young kids are easy. Anyway, I put everything under the tree, and it's a mess each year. My issue is the one of my daughter-in-law. The whole night she kept going on about not being able to get many presents for their two kids. At the adult table, she started ranting about how I made her look bad to her kids. Her husband tried to make her stop, and she told him someone has to tell this B word. Oh, wow, okay. I had enough at this point and told her that her being poor is not my problem and to stop judging the amount of presents. The dinner went on and the kids had a wonderful time. My son wants me to apologize. OP, do not apologize to that wench. She's over here making a big deal out of nothing. It's not like you bought, each kid 50 presents. It adds up because you bought them each, like, one, two, or three, a couple presents, and there's a lot of people. And like you said, it's not your fault. It's not, your fault for being rich and you could afford to do that. She needs to chill out and she needs to. Honestly, I'd probably ban her from my house disrespecting me like that. Yeah, I don't know what her hang up is. Okay, you can't get them presents. So you're the other people can get them presents. Like, I think she just feels ashamed because she doesn't have a lot of money, which I get that, but that doesn't mean be rude, especially to the person who has money. Maybe, they'd want to help you out if you weren't such a jerk to them and weren't disrespectful to them like that. I am just saying. So, no, OP, you are not the beehole. She is the beehole. Holy hell, she's so rude and to your face like that, calling you, a bee like that. Uh-uh. You are 100% not the beehole. She's 1000% the beehole. OP, don't let her get to you. You keep buying those presents if you can afford it. And I'm glad you had a good Christmas and those kids had a good Christmas too and enjoyed their presents. Yeah, not the beehole. Jeez, some people, man. Thank you so much for staying with me to the end of this video. Can you please do what I said in the beginning and like, comment, and subscribe? It will really help the channel out and it'll get you more videos like this every day. Velvet out.